Ehime province of Mishima, Japan, there is a harvest festival where men carry huge Shinto shrines and they hoist them above their heads in a display for the gods. This is a harvest festival. So in this scene, I caught a couple of men down in the trenches here. These are the guys that we're going to draw as they push this above their heads. So here they are. This is an ink painting. So I start off by using a fan brush to get in the major shapes. So this fan brush just is regular ink. I'm not diluting the ink with anything. I'm just using the ink right out of the bottle. This happens to be Deleter number 4 black manga ink. So you can see I'm just blocking in the sections, noting where core shadows are, and then dragging in these fill shadows, and then dropping in cast shadows. I'm using the photo of the men as a reference, but mostly I'm just trying to describe the mood of what happened in the scene. I'm not really worried about trying to get an accurate likeness for the men. I'm just interested in the emotion that was happening and the struggle to lift this unbearable weight. I can use the edge of the brush to get in fine details, whereas I use the flat side of the brush to drag in big shapes. And you can use the the edge of the entire brush to get really straight lines. When you're using this technique, you need to fight the urge to get too dark too fast. Here I'm using a pen to go in and lay in very small shadows and just fill in form, just to round out how, say, this skull is capturing the light, and just put in basic form. I'm not getting down into details where I'm drawing, say, outlining an eyelid or anything like that. Notice I'm holding the pen almost like it's a brush. The usefulness of that is that it keeps away from getting detail. It allows you just to drag in large shapes instead of getting stuck outlining and trying to go directly to drawing little details. So it can be a valuable way to just keep you focused on the form of what you're seeing and how the light is hitting the form versus trying to draw it in as if it were, say, like a cartoon drawing or getting too outliney. Ink paintings like this go a lot more quickly than, say, an oil painting would, because every stroke that you put down is a final stroke. So there's some good and some bad for that. The good is that these paintings go very quickly, which means if you mess up, you kind of just start over and do it again. What's attractive about these paintings is how the brush leaves organic form in the picture. So you don't have to make everything look perfect. And the brush kind of allows a texture that adds to the overall kind of cool look of these pictures, particularly when the lines are a little bit far away from each other, and it creates that sort of dragged, almost grass-like texture. This could be a challenging and unforgiving way to work, but it's also very rewarding when you get something right. I've used highlights here. You have to stay away from using too many. If you look around his mouth, you'll see I used a white highlight pen. If you use too much of this, it ends up looking like a whiteout marker, and that's not good. You don't want that. I almost never use that little white brush, but I did use it a few times in this. Mostly, you just want to let the organic nature of the brush pull out these interesting artifact-like shapes. That's what makes the picture good. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this demo.